check one, check two, check three. Hello, can everybody hear me?
Yes, yes, yes.
Are you ready? I didn't even ask you if you were ready before I
I'm
was
ready.
like, I'm going to start recording.
I'm ready.
Okay. I have my iPad here if my eyes drift off the screen at any point.
Same.
But
Same as you.
without further ado, I would like to introduce the skin Jawn herself. Let's see. Licensed, decorated esthetician, woman of many hats, entrepreneur, nomad of sorts, travel baddie. Our
No.
very own Annie, she has graced us with her presence. Insert round of applause here.
I don't think Andy Cohen has anything on you right now. Like, what's going on? This is
Really
quite the
doesn't.
introduction.
Coming for that job. Really am. Well, before I get too into it, I just want to introduce this segment as something that the Vinyl Club is currently doing where we're really trying to hone in on our um edit that out, Jeff. That stutter. We're really trying to just really hone in on this concept and this idea that we have of just the way that music is intertwined in everything that we do. And what better way to introduce that than connecting with you, collaborating with you, where we can see the way that that really is displayed within the work that you do. So while you are not like a musician, so to speak, even
Musician.
though you can carry a tune, I will say that.
Just an itty bitty one.
Just a wee bit. That's all that
Just a
matters.
wee bit.
Even though
Not too
that's not
much.
what you do full time or at all, really, it's like, well,
Hmm.
music is still a huge part of your life, and we're excited to be a part of, just showing that to both of our audiences.
Hmm.
So, my love. Oh, and also, happy birthday! Bow, 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 bow.
Insert celebration.
It's your birthday. What's that Drake song? What's that Drake
Oh, I
song?
don't like that. Is the one bird song. I
It's
do
your
not love that
It's your
song.
birthday, baby. It's your
Oh,
birthday.
oh my
Um,
God.
so let us just get into it. For people who don't know you in terms of like our audience, please, by all means, give us just a little or a lot of introduction
A lot of
on your journey, who you are, and how you got into how you became an esthetician up to this point. Just tell us a little bit about
Okay.
that.
Just a little bit. Esthetician, I've always loved beauty in general. I think it was just something that kind of came about randomly. When I was working in Philadelphia, me and my best friend would just kind of go often to Sephora. Like, we'd finish work, we'd go to Sephora. We'd finish work, we'd go to Ulta. Just kind of scoping out the scene, just seeing what's there. And then we would always talk about, like, oh, waxing and doing all these different things, but we just never kind of put any energy behind it.
Mm-hmm.
When I finally got married, moved to California. It was 2019. I was like, oh, I think I want to start a skincare line. And just after I decided that, COVID started.
Oof.
And I was like, oh, dang, what am I supposed to do? No, I worked from home, but not much else I could do from outside of that. So I found a way to go to esthetician school. My husband encouraged me to go to esthetician school, learn more about skincare products, learn more, just open up another avenue that I wasn't already in. So when I went to school, at first I was like, oh, I'm just coming here to learn about ingredients. I don't care about facials. I don't care about anything else. But when I got there, I loved waxing. I loved facials. I
Mm-hmm.
loved dealing with the different conditions that people had and like just kind of nitpicking and trying to figure out what works. But even through that, I was lucky enough that, well, lucky and quotations around it, but my school wasn't the greatest school. So I was able to test out products that I made in the school because
Oh,
we didn't
nice.
have products during COVID. So I was like, oh, I'll make some stuff, bring them in, and we'll test them out on each other and see how it works. And that worked out really well. Um, and since then, that was 2020. I graduated, and it's been 4 years now since I've been an
Sheesh.
esthetician, and it's changed so much. My business has changed so much since then,
Mm-hmm.
but it's been really beautiful watching how it's like elevated since then.
And when you say your business has changed so much, I mean, at this point, we'll probably just jump around in the questions, but I mean, obviously, for anyone who doesn't know, so I guess it's not obvious. So you recently made a huge move, like a
Yeah.
continental type of move.
Continental, yeah.
So
Yeah, we are.
yeah, tell us a little bit about that and how that's affected your basically your entire business model.
Right. So we made the move to Japan,
Hmm.
military move. So for my business model, since starting, it's always been kind of focused on military because that's where I was. When I moved with my husband, we were in California on a military base. Ever since, it's just been base to base to base.
Hmm.
So the model hasn't changed as much just because my focus has always been military wives, military members. That's who's
Oh,
in my
okay.
area, so that's who I focus on.
Right.
But when it comes to social media, it's a little bit different because we are all in the age of TikTok and Instagram. While I feel like a lot more military members or even the spouses are focused on Facebook because that's where everybody kind of congregates to get information. It's a lot easier to get
Oh,
information that way, like with
okay.
Facebook groups and things like that.
Right.
So it's a lot different. I can't post the same way I would post on TikTok or on Instagram the way I do on Facebook. But I notice all my clients find me that way. They find me on Facebook. They find
Hmm.
me there. They go to my Instagram. They go to my TikTok. When it comes to products, I had to pretty much put it on hold because I just felt like it'd be a little bit more of a hassle shipping internationally, dealing with all this other stuff that's going on,
The
um,
tariffs.
the tariffs.
Yeah.
So I just don't want to have to increase my price to deal with anybody else's kind of nonsense going on. So I'd
Understandable.
rather
Yeah.
not have to deal with the international shipping. But people who are here, I have my clients, there's products behind me, like they can pick up products in person, which is good. And if somebody's really that willing to purchase like 12 of the same product just so they have enough for the whole year, I'm willing to ship that out to, mitigate any crazy costs. But
Right.
it's been really cool noticing the difference since I've moved. It's been somewhat the same, but also different because it's a whole new crowd. I always have different clients every time I move.
Right. That's
Yeah.
interesting because I wasn't. I mean, it makes sense the whole like your clientele being predominantly military,
Hmm.
based and whatnot. Because I was sitting here thinking to myself, so are you going to be marketing to the people in your area or like what, this and that? But then you already, to some extent, have a community to reach out to, with the
Exactly.
military base situation. So that's it's actually pretty solid. That's a sweet deal. Do you
Yeah.
feel
So it's
like
been nice.
yeah, so and then through like the Facebook type of communication, you feel like you're able to reach whichever group you're around, wherever you're able to travel to?
Yeah, it's a lot easier because these groups are kind of already built in. People are already there. I don't have to kind of congregate all these people together and then make them part of
Right,
my community. We're already a part. So even
right.
before I got here, I was joining the groups, seeing what people look for, and people are
Hmm.
always looking for an esthetician. They're
I'm
looking for
sure.
a
Yeah,
hairstylist.
yeah.
So it's perfect, and there's always kind of this rotating where there's new people coming to the island every few weeks. So it's not like, oh, I post here and all these people have already seen this.
Yeah.
There's going to be a new batch of people in the next few weeks where they're new and they don't know anything and they're looking for somebody. So it's
Wow.
pretty cool that I don't have to do too much. It's kind of like put yourself into the community, spread the word as much as you can, and it'll just keep cycling that way
Right.
for me.
And that also speaks to the importance, I feel, of the quality of the services, and I mean, which goes for with like anything you do. I mean, it's
Right.
like word of mouth that is, it speaks volumes, right? So it's
It
like,
really does.
yeah. So no matter where you go, it's like someone will always be able to vouch for the quality of the work that you do. And yeah, I love that.
Yeah, it's been pretty cool, especially with this because people move everywhere. It doesn't matter. They kind of go different places. Before I
Hmm.
got here, and I posted that I'm coming, and I was just making sure that people were looking for an esthetician. Three people had told me that they remembered me from California 4 years
Oh,
ago. So they were like, "Oh, I'm waiting for you. I can't wait for you to get here." So
right,
they're already spreading the word without me having to do too much before I even got to Ireland. So it's been pretty like clutch, like honestly, because you just expect to not know anybody
mm-hmm.
when you get to a new
You
space,
already have
but to know like three or four people,
right. And then you have people waiting for you. That's amazing.
yeah.
So now I'm curious. So switching back over to, which is why I'm so interested in this segment that we're doing, because it's like even Jeffrey and I were talking about how do we really incorporate something like this without seeming like we're starting to kind of like dance all over the place. And we had a
Hmm.
conversation about how really at the heart of it, Teddy's Vinyl Club is just two people who found each other through this mutual, like deep, deep, deep love of music. And from there, it sparked this entire, what would you call it? This collaboration,
Whole entity,
this
yeah.
whole, this whole, entity, right? And we had a conversation recently about that isn't everyone's story. Not everyone has such a deep love for music, you know? And with you, it was so interesting when you mentioned to us that you were trying to incorporate more of like a music type of aspect to your brand.
Hmm.
And I just want to talk a little bit about where that comes from for you, right? So, what is your own personal history of music in the way that it's something that to this day, even though you're not in a field that is, deals with music, it's something that you're looking to incorporate in your day to day, in your brand, in your, in your entire business model.
Definitely. So my first start, what I remember of my first like love of music, my older brother was playing Outkast. It was
Mm.
AT Aliens. And I remember sitting there and just kind of hearing it. I was probably like 6. I probably shouldn't have been listening to it. But but I was listening to it and I just remember like feeling like euphoric,
Mm.
feeling like it was consuming my brain. Like I felt like it was taking over and I was like, I want to hear more. I want to hear more things like this. I want to see more things like this. And with music since then, I even used to write like literally before the internet. I used to use the book and just kind of like write the lyrics. If I saw a song of music video on the TV, I would listen to it a million times,
Mm-hmm.
write the lyrics, write them out by hand, just kind of like trying to remember them. Even though I could have probably looked them up at a certain point and
Right.
printed them out, I kept the book and I kept writing lyrics. And it meant something to me deeply at that point, like keeping this book by my side. And then even as I grew up more and more, words started to mean more to me. Lyrics meant something to me. It wasn't just somebody put words in a song and they mean nothing. So to this day, that's the biggest thing when I tell people it's like words mean things in any form or fashion. So make sure when you're saying them, you know that somebody's taking them to heart. So I usually don't talk too much. I'm not a huge talker, but when I hear music, I feel like I can be like, oh, that song right there is me today. Like that's my feelings, that's my
Mm-hmm.
emotions, that's how I'm. So it with music, words, lyrics, like I've been looking into them since I was 6, and that's as crazy as it sounds. I probably wasn't able to read, but I remember music so like vividly
Mm-hmm.
in my heart, and at this point, I'm pretty much a jukebox when it comes to music. Like I just pick a song and I'll tell you how it makes me feel, how it's always like a distinct moment that I can remember in my history with a song,
Mm-hmm.
and it just pieces together pretty much everything in my life at this point.
Right. Like to some extent, I mean, it's funny that last thing that you said about how it pieces things together. It's like the way that we all kind of like look at our history and our childhood. Like we have a lens, right?
Yeah.
And some people could describe it as like a book, or some people could describe it as like whatever type of story. But for you, and I feel like, and I, for myself as well, it's like certain songs are a representation of like a certain period of time in our lives, right?
Yes.
Like for me, I could
Mm-hmm.
sit here and be like, oh, well, this part is reminiscent of this one Erica Badu album. This part of my life is very like Sade, Bulletproof Soul type of energy, or like
Mm-hmm.
Lauryn Hill, or just certain albums or whatnot send you right back,
Send you back.
send you right like immediately,
Back in the machine,
right,
yeah.
right at that time machine effect.
Yeah.
So I'm curious, how do you like how would you like to incorporate music more in your brand? Like how do you want that message sent out to your audience? Like, and then yeah, maybe that's a good question. I have a different question, but go ahead. That one.
Uh, Trying to get it into my brand, I think with how it's been so far from the beginning, I felt like I made my brand surrounded around the skincare and like the fact that I was doing aesthetics and not
Mhm.
about me. Like the brand is me. I need it to persona like show that it's me who's behind it, not just any person could jump behind this name, do the same thing, and it shows. So when it comes to music, like I said, is a very large part of pretty much everything I do.
Right.
I'm trying to incorporate it more by showing a little piece of me. I feel like when people come into my room, they can tell this isn't just any esthetician's room. This isn't just any treatment room. They walk in here and they can tell a lot of things about me. If they just see six vinyls on the wall, they'll be able to tell, oh, what type of person I am and what inspires me when it comes to
Hmm.
making skincare products. Because a lot of my skincare products, even their names are just kind of like, oh, you like the internet. Oh,
Right.
you like mistake. I can tell. Like there are certain things that kind of jump out at you. So it's hard to sometimes put into words because once I hear the word branding, I'm like, sometimes that word makes it so hard to
Yeah.
put into a bubble. But I feel like with this, people be able to tell a lot more about me, which I feel
Mhm.
like hasn't been in my business in the first 3 years. But as of last year, I've been able to feel at ease with kind of like how I'm portraying everything within my business through music.
I love that. Okay. And what, I mean, so for myself, I remember I was telling Jeffrey the other day, like growing up, I used to do this thing, and I still do it. I don't know why I mean growing up. But one of my friends, when I was younger, they were like going through my Spotify, and they were like, "Oh, grocery shopping playlist. Oh, bike riding playlist. Oh, why do you have
Hmm.
a playlist for everything that you're doing in your
Yeah,
daily
like I
life?"
need that.
Right. So it's like, well, there are certain, I feel like for me, there's always a certain soundtrack for different things that I'm doing or going through and whatnot. So I'm curious for
Hmm.
you because I mean, you provide so many different services and you do so much for your
Hmm.
business. So I'm curious like what that looks like or what that sounds like, I should say, in your head. Like what type of soundtrack would you attribute to your day-to-day or different
Hmm.
services or different things that you're doing?
Definitely. The soundtracks change, of course. I just don't feel like they could be the same, depending on what the day is. So usually with facials, I try to go a little calm because they're
Mhm.
not really trying to be amped up. They're trying to relax. Most of the time they fall asleep. So let's give them something chill. I usually do lo-fi, like jazz or lo-fi
Oh
hip
yeah, of
hop, just
course.
something kind of like it has a beat, it has no words. We can just kind of vibe out and
Mhm.
relax, fall into their happy pace, and by the time I'm done, they're snoring.
Right.
So I think that's the perfect playlist for them. When it comes to waxing, as much as I would love for them to feel chill, it's probably not going to happen. They're just kind of already on edge,
Right.
and they're just like, I just want it to be done,
Sweating a little
and I
bit.
kind of sweating. They're sweating. They don't want to do that. So I try to go like Masego is my favorite because he kind
Ooh,
of
yeah, yeah.
gives he gives girls the vibes. Like he loves
Hmm.
like talking to them. And I feel like that's calming when you're hearing it on your ears. Maxwell also very
Mm.
silky, buttery, just like ooh, let me just relax a little bit, even though something's happening. Let me just relax. So those two kind of like those buttery chords. Yeah, I like those for body waxing. Brows, it's kind of hype. I'd say a little more hype because when you get your
Hmm.
brows done, I feel like you're like, oh, I'm about to go out into the world, and that's it. Nobody can tell me anything about
Right.
myself.
Like everybody's
So
about to see my
definitely
whole, yeah.
my whole face. So always hyper music. I feel like Doja works, Nicki Minaj works.
Mm.
Um, I tried. I'm not big on a lot of the newer kids, so I try. I'm kind of like 2010 and go backwards. So yeah, I stick to a little more of the hyper music. Not too much rap, just because I don't, know people's preferences with cursing and all that other stuff. So
Yeah,
I kind of
yeah.
hone off of that. But little bit more hyper for that. And then when it comes to formulating, that's for me because nobody else is here when I do
Mm-hmm.
that. So, me, I love listening to Sid. I love listening to the internet.
Mm,
I don't know what it is that she's doing to my ears when I'm formulating, but things get done faster. And I'm like, perfect. I appreciate your help. And the internet always does it. Oh, Xavier Omar. Something
ooh,
that I can
that's a
kind
good
of like
one.
sing and belt out and forget what I'm doing completely. Just kind of keep moving around. So
Right.
those three kind of really work well for me when I'm formulating specifically.
Those are solid.
Yeah,
Now, I'm curious. Wow, we really like we're speeding. We speed through all my questions. Incorporates.
no speed three.
Is there a distinct sound now? Yeah, that's pretty much it. Oh my god. Wow, I love that. So
No
what? How
backrats.
much? Oh wow, yeah, we're right on time. I said 30 minutes, 20 minutes. Wow.
Oh, nice.
Oh my god, I'm getting
Look
so
at
much better
us.
at this. Edit this out. So, so what can we look forward to for like when it comes to the skin, Jawn? Ugh, I love that word, Jawn. Um,
I love it.
like, I mean, I know you're overseas, you're on a different time zone. Our today is your tomorrow. But
Yeah.
so, what can we on this side look forward to? Because, I mean, as a client, which I don't know why I do this, your skincare is pretty much the only thing that's ever legitimately worked for my face, which is like, but then I do
Yep.
that thing where it's like, oh, I'm gonna try something else now, and
I'm gonna try something
I'm
new.
gonna try this. Meanwhile, anytime my skin has acted up, that toner, like
Get that together.
nothing gets me right more than that toner. And now you're all the way in freaking Japan. I'm just like,
Well, you know I can send you
I
something.
know,
I'll
but
send you
it's
like
just like
a big bar.
you were right around the corner, and I was like, yeah, well, I'm just gonna use La
Yeah,
Roche
I'll just do
Posay.
whatever I want.
Like, okay. Uh, anyway,
Not La Roche.
I mean, they do what they have to do sometimes.
They do. They have to do sometimes. It's
But
true.
your skincare, it genuinely, it just, so I can vouch for that because, I mean, if it wasn't good, I just wouldn't say anything about it. I just,
Yeah, we won't even talk about it.
yeah, like family or not, I'd be like, so anyway, what else you got going on?
What else you got?
But what does the East Coast, or I guess the USA, have to look
Yeah,
forward
the
to?
whole U.S. of A.
Yeah.
I mean, I definitely, of course, making products is like one of the more important things to me, and I want so badly to be able to make products. With all this craziness going on with tariffs
Hmm.
and stuff like that, I still try to think of ways like what would be most like efficient? Would it
Right.
be having my sister kind of hold on to bulk orders and then I kind of tell her like, oh, here's the label, ship this out? What would be best? But currently, it's just kind of a lot of different ideas flying around, but not too much that's settled in stone.
Hmm.
Other than that, trying to make better content just so people at least get an idea of more of who I am, more of what I'm capable of doing for them. I am working on trying to get more estheticians to want to create their own products so they have more knowledge about the ingredients. And not even just that, it kind of saves them from these tariffs as well. Like
True.
buying products is so expensive. That's the probably the bulk of being an esthetician is buying products
Hmm.
every so often. So if they could come to this and be like, "Oh, I want to learn so I can do it myself and have an idea and put hands on it so that I know what my clients are getting,"
Absolutely.
that would be amazing. So I'm trying to do more teaching, more education on that part because that's what I'm so like
Hmm.
involved in. Kind of getting back to the normal with taking clients. It's only been a month, but it's been a good month, so I can't even complain
Good.
of picking up, getting new clients, and just kind of showcasing what I'm capable of. Taking that 3 year break was interesting.
Tell
So
us a little bit about that. That's another big one. You
yeah,
were not I you were out of the game for a little bit.
not out of the game.
You were what would you call that?
I was
You were,
carrying somebody.
you were grinding. That's what you were doing.
Grinding.
You're
I was
grinding.
grinding while I was pregnant.
You were in your
Yeah,
training montage season. That's what it was.
that's what it was. It was something. Being pregnant wasn't horrific. That's one thing I feel like a lot of people
Wasn't
make it seem like
horrific.
it's so bad. It wasn't. People make it seem like it's so like, oh God. I'm like every day, yes. Holding my stomach up was completely unnecessary. How much weight it feels like underneath your belly is crazy. But if you got a good partner, just let them help you up. Just hold it up. But other than that, pregnancy was pretty much fun, up until, birth's
Wait, that
birth.
part?
Birth is, as long as it's quick, it was fine. I had a quick birth, so that wasn't too bad. She came out in 6 minutes. I'm not even
Oh,
gonna complain
period.
about it. But my beautiful daughter is amazing per usual. She's everything and more, to be honest. I couldn't have asked for a better child, and I don't know where I would be now without her. I don't know what how it would be so different. Life would be so different if she wasn't here. So
Yeah.
I do. I love her very, very much. She's out there now, probably looking for me, but I love her very much, and I'm trying not to cry.
Oh, cry. We love to cry on this
No, we love to
podcast.
cry, but no, that one is going to be a problem. I remember telling her on the first day that we got like home, not that she knew what I was talking about because she was clearly fresh out the womb. And I was just, I promise I will do anything for you, no matter what that is. And I feel like that people say that before they're like, oh, I'll do whatever for my kid. But when you have that kid and you get to tell them and you're like, oh no, I have to do anything I can do for you. And that's how I feel every day. I feel like that every day. And even when I take clients, I feel so bad. I'm like, I could be with her outside playing at the playground. I could be doing this. But I'm like, I could be doing that. I could be doing anything else and she's perfectly fine. So
Yeah.
it's a little bit of mom guilt going back to work, but
Hmm.
not so much that I'm like, oh, this isn't worth it. It's still worth it because it'll give me the opportunity to never have to work again at some point and
Absolutely.
do any and everything with her. So it's very much been a crazy ride getting having a full she's about to be 3 year old, but
Oof. My God,
it's been
time
worth it.
flies.
It's been worth it.
Oh, I love that. Do you feel like at any point you would, or maybe you are, maybe this is something you're trying to keep on the low, I don't know. Are you
We'll
doing
see.
any like skincare targeted towards the babies?
I pretty much make most things so that any babies could use them. I don't like making harsh
Oh.
products in general. So most of my products kids can use. I make everything that she uses from baby powder to her facial products
Mm,
because she has her own routine. Excuse
period.
us.
Of course she
Like
does.
that's her own routine. Uh, Her baby lotion, any like I try to make as much as I can because at least not that she's a guinea pig, but at least I know what's going into her products
Hmm.
and I know what's keeping her safe. So I definitely would love to. I have a few people with private labeling because that's the other side of me formulating. A
Hmm.
lot of people are interested in baby products or baby care or trying to make more things towards like eczema and things like that because that's the main one that the babies deal with.
Right.
So it's pretty cool that people are interested in creating something themselves for just the kitty because not everything's made equally.
Yeah, fair. Oh, I
Yeah,
love that. All right, well, let's see. We definitely hit everything. That being said, well, thank you so much for hitting all
of
my
course,
questions.
of
But it's not
course.
a Vinyl Club interview without our game that we like to play at the end.
Oh goodness.
Yes, it's a game. It's a game that I created myself that I need to trademark. It's called
Quickly.
it's called Collab, Marry, Kill. All right.
Okay.
So we got the three choices. I mean, very similar. It's a little bit similar to, Kill, Mary, Fuck, but
Yeah. Yeah.
but I created this game myself. So collab, Mary, Kill. So you have to name one artist who you would like to collab with in any fashion, especially when it comes to our guests who aren't musicians. We just like to throw it out there in any way, whether you
All right.
like based on what you personally do. But then Mary, Kill, they both stay the same in terms of an artist who you have to
Right.
listen to for the rest of your life, no one else. Kill one artist who you actively listen to. Don't try to cheat this one and say some random person
Actively listen to.
you
Okay.
actively listen to who you can never listen to again. So collab,
Oh,
marry, kill. Go ahead.
collab is Childish Gambino. That's not gonna
Ha!
change.
Jeffrey thought it was
Collab is
going to
Childish Gambino.
be. Who did you think it was going to be? Tyler. He thought it was going to be Tyler, the creator.
Oh, that's definitely Grace.
That's what I was thinking.
Uh,
Yeah, that's a great
yeah,
one.
that's
Yeah,
definitely Grace. But that's a good one.
Childish
Childish Gambino. The
Gambino.
man has so many hats. I can't even like. There's nothing. You can't pinpoint Childish Gambino. He's willing to do any and everything, and I love that. I love that about him. And I've been watching him since Community. It's just that
Same.
he's so multifaceted. So it's him. He's always going to be collab. Mary. Now y'all got me doing Drake versus Kendrick, and I don't like that. And I don't like that because when this whole war was going on, I didn't want to pick no sides.
You gotta pick a
We're going
side.
Kendrick though, because his body of music kind of represents more of my now. So it's
Mm,
Kendrick. It's Kendrick. Which then unfortunately means Drake is kill.
absolutely.
Because I
I
feel
mean,
like I
not
can't do both.
absolutely. I just mean, well, yeah. If you're gonna sit here and do Drake versus Kendrick for Mary Kill,
I have
you,
to do
you
it as
have to kill
kill.
Drake.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but yeah.
Which,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
what it
I
is.
do love that. Unpopular opinion. That honestly, never mind. That's my shit.
Like, oh, God. It's
Okay,
so
okay.
toxic, but it's so
It's
good.
it's so good. Ah,
I can't, but it's okay.
it's okay.
Yeah, because Kendrick represents way more of my now and defines a lot more for me. Defines a lot more for me. So I have
Yeah.
to, yeah, it has to be Kendrick.
All right, that's a solid. I
I
would say
think.
that's one of our, yeah, that we've had good ones so far, and that one I can respect that one fully. Yep, that's a good collab, Mary Kill. Round of applause
Yeah.
inserted here, please.
Yeah.
Well, that being said, we want to thank you so much for joining us for this new Vinyl Club segment called, I'm going to do this like 3 times before I pick a name, called
Before you pick it up.
Music is Everywhere. No, that's not a good one. Thank you for joining us for this Teddy Song segment.
You'll record it again later.
This new segment that we are calling, I don't know. I don't know. I'll put it,
Gotcha.
I'll insert it right here. This new segment name is called. But yes, thank you so much. Everybody follow Annie at the Skin Jawn. That's JAWN, our Philly gal. Follow her everywhere. And stay tuned for more of all the exciting things that she has coming.
Yeah, yeah.